primarily we have white, obviously, so, and the light's coming from this direction over here, so all the light areas will be this side. So we put a nice strong dollop of white, a little bit of strong white on his tail, and this is developed quite slowly, so I'll have to break off and from time to time. Now if we look at that for the moment, see we've got the light coming on the top, we've got this almost shadow area there, which is the paper. Now the paper is going to play an important part in this. Although I shall be covering the paper with pencil, and there's quite a lot of colour going to be put on it, I want to retain some of that tone from the paper. So what I do is like a half. Now it's like two tones now, nice and strong here, where the different contours of the body is, and here where we've got the lighter white, a little bit on there. There's quite a strong area there on the tail. Not tail, foot, not tail, foot. Okay, and then these little bit down there. Now that's all I want to do at the moment. So we'll work on the next colour. Now the next colour is going to be a grey, and this is 273 grey, and I want to put just a little bit of this on. It's really just to bring in the tone that I was telling you about, and you may not be able to see that very clearly on the screen, but what it's doing, it's creating quite a nice tonal colour there. But what's missing is quite an important ingredient, that is the ochre. I mentioned ochre when I was doing the meadow. Well, it's a lot of ochre. So there we are. Now that is sort of the first stage, and we'll now use our blender. Now, you can use a paper blender on this, or I'm going to use my colour shaper. I must admit I tend to favour them rather. Now what I'm doing now is just pushing the colour in. Now you can still see the paper tone, although the paper's covered now. You can still see the paper tone. That's good. Right, well, I've put some green on the background, and I've also put some white on the highlights. And what I'm doing now is just putting a little bit of depth on them. I've done those over there. Just putting a little bit of depth on the nose. This is so we don't lose it. It's so easy to lose them. Okay. Now, as before, that's the highlights. Now, what I want to do now is to put in a lighter application of the white pencil of all the shadow areas. Same idea again, is to leave the paper tone coming through. The detail here is very small, so you have to be very careful and watchful that you don't lose it all. There you go. So there's the second application. Good. Now, we now need to bring in the grey, and this is where we start thinking of separating them. The grey, very, very light tone grey, like that. I've got some ears here, and while I'm doing it, I'll put the ears in. I could have used the same, that's 175 that I use for the eyes on the ears, but I've decided to play it a bit carefully here because the ears are very important, and so I'm going to put them in grey to start with, and then we'll darken them later. And the ear of Mummy, well, I'm assuming it's Mummy, it might be Daddy. Okay, there we are, that's the ears done. Okay, let's just develop that bit of shadow there. Now, because the light is hitting the top of the lamb's head, behind it is going to be darker. Dark, and round there is going to be dark as well. So we've now got the lamb's head framed using the grey, and a little bit under there. It's always a wise thing never to be too dark too quick. Creep up on it is my motto. You've got a chance to change your mind then. Okay, that's looking quite nice. A bit of shape in there so we don't lose it. And then on Mummy or Daddy, have some shading like that. And then we do that. I won't do the lamb as well because you can see the idea behind this. And then we'll do the ochre on top of the grey. Oh, it's coming, isn't it? Looks a little bit childish at the moment, but that will all alter. Now I'll do the lamb, and then you can come back and we'll start putting some detail in. Now I'm developing the green around the animal. We can get a better idea now of how it's going to look in the background. Okay. Now I need to develop a little bit of tone now, a little bit of detail. So we bring in the darker colour. The adult sheep is looking good now, and I think I'm quite happy with that. And these tiny little details can be put in and develop later, as long as the overall look at the eye is good. I'm pleased with that. And we've developed a little bit of depth around there. Okay, and then it's the separation. Now the separation is interesting. The darkness is more on the lamb than it is on the adult sheep, but we can develop that when we get to it. Now here we got a little bit of depth coming down here, and we got a little bit of coming there, much more subtle than that. And we've also got a bit of shadow from the lamb that's going onto the sheep, the adult. Okay, now just move on to my ochre, because sometimes you can see the one colour is beginning to dominate too much, and that was the grey in that case was doing so. So we then switch to the ochre. That's good. Okay, happy with that. Let's get this lamb sorted out. This is the most difficult one of all of them to do. It's so easy to make him look, or her look, really weird. So I put the eye. Yep. Now there's another eye over this side. You can't see it very easily, it's just there. I'll just put it in for the moment, and we'll bring it back a little later on. Okay, don't worry about the shading. No. And here we got where the leg is tucked under, some shading there, and here some shading like that. Now that leg is thicker than that, so we've got to make it, bring the white back in again. It's also not as long, that should be about right.